My name is Dr. Charles Krebs. I am a research scientist and also a kinesiologist. Developed the LEAP program, the Learning Enhancement Acupressure program, and working with this for almost 25 years now. And I've been doing various research studies, the most recent one at Harvard Medical School. And I did a previous study in Israel upon which this paper is based. So this is called acupressure formatting, description of a novel acupressure-based technique to access and reintegrate brain function. Current models of brain function supporting complex activities such as reading, spelling, mathematics are now centered on the concept of temporal organization of neural flows both within brain areas and between brain areas and into complex networks. So it's no longer this brain area to that brain area, but this arranged in complex networks that will fire simultaneously. So obviously, interruption of any of those areas is going to cause a breakdown in the function of that part of that brain function, or that transmission of the information from one brain area to another brain area, which may support another brain function. But how are we to locate these brain functions that have lost integration, have lost synchrony and timing of flows? Well, that's where kinesiology comes in, because it allows you to detect changes and stresses in the acupressure system and also in psychoemotional states of a person. So you can put these together, and what we've done is made an acupressure format for different structures. So if I hold just this mode here, I'm saying anatomy, and if I'm holding this mode, I'm saying organ. If I touch this acupoint, I now have a format for the cortex of the brain. So it's a way of actually identifying individual areas, and then with muscle feedback, you can tell, is there no stress or stress? And is there stress in that area, that's stress in that area, or no stress in that area? So therefore you have a mechanism with the muscle biofeedback of rapidly recognizing when you have stress in a particular area of the brain that you've identified, and of course that underlies specific functions. As I said, these are networks, and so that the acupressure formatting provides a mechanism of identifying where the stresses are and what areas are involved. Now then you come to, well, how do you correct that? Well, that's where acupressure comes in. So it's the LEAP Enhancement Acupressure program. The acupressure is about how you correct the problems, and that is using various types of acupressure. This can be just simply Law of 5 Elements, which is a direct technique where you find where the over energies are, where the under energies are, and then you apply acupressure specifically to those areas. So acupressure can be applied either as finger acupressure on a point, and often we know in kinesiology we use these points and apply the emotional diffusion points and apply acupressure, but it can also be applied more specifically by using this device that's called a Tai Shin. This is just a blunt probe on a spring. So therefore, if I put that on an acupoint and I go pokey, pokey, pokey like this, and then I stop, you notice there's a dent in the skin. That dent is still there, still there, still there. So as long as the dent is there, you're getting continuous stimulation. So you have a system that allows you first to identify by a mudra, and a couple mudras, acupoints, limbic system, another type of format, a formatting system that allows you to identify specific brain areas to see if there is any disturbance of synchrony and timing. And so we did to test this is use 4 different types, standardized tests for basically speeds of sensory processing. And these are for lower levels, okay? So they're just simple auditory discriminations, simple visual discriminations. This is called auditory order threshold and visual order threshold. So an auditory order threshold is how fast can you discriminate, beep, beep, when which was left and which was right, which came first. And so that's a very simple discrimination. So you can do that with the beep beeps, or you can do it with flash flash. And so either both of those, and these underlie, of course, all auditory processing and all visual processing, because the first step you have to do is discriminate, make a discrimination about the specific order of process that occurred in auditory visual processing. Okay, so the second one is called IT. And this stands for inspection time. And here it's a totally different technique, even if it's very similar. You have a computer screen, people are looking at it, there's a mass symbol and it comes out like this. So it has a short leg and a long leg. And you have to decide which side was the long leg. So it's a decision-making process, and you're told It's not how fast you do it, but how accurate you are. So it determines, you have to make a conscious decision about it. And it's not just a reaction, it's rather conscious decision making. So that's the next order up of discrimination in the visual system. So it has a meaning, it also has meaning in terms of brain function. And then the last one was the coding test out of the subtest, out of the Wechsler Intelligence Scale. And so this is, they call a speed of processing test, because it's partly visual memory, partly visual search strategy, but altogether it's how fast can you link these things together to make an accurate discrimination. And so it's a common measure of speed of processing. So these tests were administered, then then using acupressure formatting, locating which brain areas were disturbed, then using LEAP acupressure protocols were then treated with acupressure, and then they were done again. The results are really quite remarkable, statistically. All of these speeds of processing tests and data discrimination were improved significantly and highly significantly by first identifying that there was a problem, what areas of the brain that was in, then how to resynchronize those areas of the brain using LEAP acupressure techniques. It was a very highly successful technique, and this will be reported in Subtle Energies, a recognized peer-reviewed journal. Thank you so much.